Welcome everyone to the G3X Podcast. This is episode 8, where it's everything God, Gym, Grind, unfiltered. Hope you guys are super excited. I have an amazing guest here. His name is Alvin. We have a lot of things to talk about, from fitness, content creation, social media, a lot of cool stuff that we have planned out. So it's going to be a super fun one. Hope you guys are excited. And Alvin, how you feeling, man? Thank you so much for being here.
I feel good, man. How about yourself?
Been doing great, man. And again, appreciate you willing to take the time out of your day to be on the podcast. For the audience who doesn't know, I met Alvin actually through TikTok. Actually, he was doing a live at the gym. I saw him there. I joined, interacted. And then from there, we've been connecting all the time through TikTok lives, engaging. And he has an awesome, we have a lot of fun stories to tell for sure. But Alvin, for the audience who isn't aware of you, give yourself a little introduction, where you're from, what you do, and we proceed from there.
So currently I do mostly social media content, do a lot of video editing for myself and for you all. But the main thing that got me toward the gym was just trauma. It wasn't so much as like a fun, loving thing to do. It was a way of outlet. You know what I'm saying? So in that retrospect.
Gotcha. So let's get into that. Actually, that's one of the things there on that, like how everyone's always their own fitness journey. So if you want to elaborate on that, ultimately, however deep or not you want to go, of course. And
I can. It's gonna get a little bit dark, but I can explain it. So basically, my initial response to stress and trauma was pretty much alcohol and other substances. But I realized very shortly after my mom passed away that with that being much heavier as far as like a trauma response, that was not gonna work anymore. So eventually, I ended up just like full committing into something different. I sold my TV. I sold the PlayStation I had. I sold my couch. I went all out inclusive to just, change of my lifestyle and bought all this gym equipment. And I just invested all my time in that manner. It used to be, like I said, just more so substances and alcohol, but I got really lost and unclear as to what to do next as soon as my mom passed away.
What, if you remember kind of like your rock bottom point, like where at that point you're like, you know what, like I can't keep, let's say, drinking anymore. I can't keep doing this anymore. I have to like really make a change. And what was that, let's say, light bulb or shift that it really got you to, let's say, go forward to like buying that gym equipment, etc.?
It was just the acknowledge in my brain that I wasn't making her proud while she was here. So it more so made me feel like I wanted to make that happen, even if she wasn't here now. It made me more inclined to have to do it. So with everything being said, I just got tired of being, I wouldn't say much of a failure, but just not making her proud. And it became a major goal when loss happened. When loss happens, you get more of like this extra random boost of choice. If it wouldn't have happened, and I really wish it didn't, but these things happen for a reason. I would have probably still been doing the same coping mechanism. But as soon as I realized, this is not working, on top of the fact I am now not making her proud anymore at all, even while she's not here, it became an acknowledgement that I got to do something different, Right. I initially was going to the gym in the beginning, but I wasn't as focused on it. I did Planet Fitness for a little bit, on and off, doing random exercises. I could do random things, but I wanted to dial in and actually get a trainer and focus on how to make it, official.
I think back also to, let's say, when my grandpa passed away, maybe 4 years ago at this point. And looking back, of course, same thing. There was a lot of hurt, pain. And it was crazy, that whole situation for me, because I was doing some production work and this and that. I couldn't even actually, the day it happened, I was barely even home because I had stuff that I had to do that I couldn't even have anyone sub. There was literally no one else to sub. So it was kind of like that, damn, I can't even be there at that point in time type of stuff. So it really stung. But looking back, same things, a lot of course of actions that I've taken in my life before G3X and everything, where sometimes I don't count myself, you know what, this wouldn't actually be making him proud. So what am I doing this for ultimately? And that's one thing that I admired a lot about my grandpa, was a lot of the life advice that he would give me. And then it's you know what, let me actually try to live up to his legacy, make him proud. And so I can identify with you in that regards of, let's say, losing someone you care about and then actually wanting to make them proud. And, hopefully for the both of us, with what we're doing now, what we continue to do in the forward, we are making them proud and, leaving a legacy that they'll be proud of. Ultimately, I know deep down what any loved one would really want is for one to be happy. And if we're doing something that makes them proud and enjoying it, I think that's a beautiful thing,
Yeah, it is. It is. I definitely agree with that one.
Now, so let me fast forward here then. Okay, so you got your gym equipment and everything. Like you said, you were looking for a trainer. Then you knew a little bit about some fitness exercises, and then you went deeper into it, like by getting a trainer. How did that happen?
There was a fitness app. It's called Fitbod. You heard of it?
Okay. I
So
actually
I use
haven't. No,
that. No.
no, I haven't heard
So
of it.
I
No.
always tell you when I get the app, it gives you a free trial for a week. But after the week goes by, it costs about $20 a month, kind of heavy. But as far as the beginning goes, I did pay for that subscription for a little bit to understand what to do next. It lets you like do little combinations to see what you can do for leg day. It gives you videos. But no, it came. That was my starting point. I was doing Planet Fitness. It was fun. I was having like I said, fun. But it was more so like I wasn't in there to relieve anything. It was just fun. But then I'll go home and just go back to, partying, doing things that, didn't require in fitness. Like I said, the trauma doesn't even bring you back to making a serious note that it was a way to relieve. Counseling didn't work at all. I don't believe in counseling that much anymore. But I would say like with the endorphins you get from the gym, it does make everything a whole lot better throughout the day.
When would you say the more you started going to the gym, let's say that it possibly turned into, let's say if it's, and correct me if I'm wrong, not to put words in your mouth, let's say that it turned into actually something you really enjoy doing and look forward to it. And it wasn't so much more as let's say releasing the pain or etc. through the gym, if that makes sense.
I would say feel like you're inspiring others. As soon as I got more into creating content to a serious note, I'm realizing that a lot of us out here don't know how to channel things, don't know how to have faith in themselves. Their faith is kind of like, being abolished every day from family, friends. I realized that it became more of a duty or more like a focus and a motivation for myself to keep inspiring others. I mean, it was not so like I'm not saying I'm Superman. I'm not somebody out here, just flying through the world, saving lives. But with the act of connection, I mean, connection over currency in that perspective, it makes a big of a difference than just simply going in there and lifting weights so you can, get rid of what happened last week or that day up, but you become more of an, you are pretty much an influence in someone else's life. Like whatever you say like you said, on these podcasts or everything, can dictate what somebody else does next day. People's word of mouth is a much powerful structure. You seeing it on movies, it gets portrayed as acting, but when you're on these platforms and you make an act to just say something different, someone will acknowledge it and it might change somebody's life or save their life.
Yeah, definitely. No, 100%. You never know how, like, and so many people are watching and you don't know who's watching until
You have
someone
no
like
idea.
DMs you randomly or comments, hey, man, I've been seeing your content for X amount. You've been, I'm like, I had no idea.
Nope.
And it makes you, let's say, I would say even more, it goes both ways, more let's say conscientious of yourself. Like, hey, let me keep on doing this. Like, kind of like keeps you in a sense more disciplined on that. Like, hey, let me not slack off because there's other people like who in a sense, you're helping them at the same time. And at the same time, makes you also more accountable of what type of content that you're posting, because a lot of times I would say, others, maybe others out there are let's say a little reckless with some of their posts, like, oh, okay. But hey, you never know what type of repercussion or influence that could have on someone else that, you just don't know.
You really don't.
So let me ask you then, so going into that then, through that fitness journey, okay, let's say there was that pain situation, gym in a sense as like an outlet for a better, let's say, better lifestyle, better decision making. When did it eventually then lead to you start posting content into like your gym life and like posting videos and all that stuff? Like, how did it evolve to that?
So when I started wanting to see my progression. So I often write in the journal what was working, what was not working, or if I hit a certain number as far as rep goes, yada yada and that sort. But then I wanted to see it visually so I could see if I was doing the right forms, if I was doing the right action, if I am I looking too tired? Am I looking, just a kind of like get an outside look, because you can feel on the inside you're doing great, but on the outside you're doing terrible. So
Right.
um yeah, so I had to see in that respect. Then I started seeing how like it was amazing to see, I'm not gonna take a hold like dropping your ass to the ground. You see how your form is so like precise, and like this could be really nice to post. And you post it, and so it was a good job. And you're like, okay, that felt kind of good. I mean, let me do it again. Do it again. And then someone says, ask the question, how do you do this? Or and then you didn't feedback and to them explain how this works, how that works. And now you're really creating an audience of people, and it's like, okay, now I feel like inclined to do this now. I need to post something every now and then just to help somebody else get through the day. And it becomes more, but not just you thing. You trying to improve yourself, but now you're improving others.
Yep. I love that. Yeah, I could say the same way when it came to, let's say, myself and then into G3X with the clothing brand too, where initially it was like certain little workout videos or just in my own life, like just, hey, I'm going to the gym, posting some stuff, see my own progress. And then when I started G3X is like, just sharing my own experiences of things that I've learned and so forth. And like you said, people start asking questions or people send DMs like, hey, that was actually pretty helpful. That was helped me a lot. Or, oh, I wasn't aware of that exercise. What about this? And then, like you said, you start connecting with new people, in a sense, building a community, building an audience, and you take it from there, right?
It's like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, the beautiful thing of social media, when it's truly social media, or you're like engaging and interacting with others 100%. Now, let's say, and before getting into some of the rest of the fitness stuff, then let me ask you, let's say at this point now and looking back, if let's say you could go back and give yourself some advice when you first started in the gym, like consistently and so forth through all the exercises or things that you tried, didn't try, etc., what would it be? What would be that like advice you would give to, let's say, your younger self, your younger gym self?
Now, is it towards the choice of what I was doing in the gym, or towards like maybe advice on how, I don't know, how I came in mentally? What to that respect are we talking about?
I mean, if you want to answer both, I was initially thinking more like the gym one, but if you want to either or, it could go. Actually, no problem with that.
So to answer on this part of the gym, I would say do more core workouts, because now I'm realizing that even though the visual is there, the look of it's there, you then now try to do core workouts years later, and now it's not as strong on there. I'm finding myself having now to do core, because when I do like squats or anything doing like on my back, your core kind of wraps around the front to your back. So you're not doing this at all because of the visual, how it looks good. 6-pack, 8-pack, whatever, 12-pack, I've seen them before. It's crazy. But like the visual can be there, but it's not as strong as it could be. So I've noticed that. So I definitely would have did core more. But as far as it goes to the just overall, like as far as gym goes, I really wish I did it sooner. I mean, it sucks that I didn't make it serious when I first started, because now seeing these younger generation, do more at a younger age, I'm like, I waited till I was like upwards like 20, 19 or so ish, whatever, to make a difference out of it, and when I could have been, But then again, coulda, woulda, shoulda, hope doesn't really make a difference. But I will say the biggest part of going back to the bigger thing is I wish I did more core. If I did more core, I probably would be having to support myself with a belt as much, because obviously my front area is not as strong as my back is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I know even myself, I remember when I first started, kind of like with my uncle, he kind of put me on like a bunch of different exercises that I wasn't even aware of or anything. He kind of like showed me the initial ropes in a sense. That was one thing he always like with core. And initially I liked it. I even myself, I've been slacking a little bit on core, but I'm like getting back into it as well. Cause like, hey, it's always good to do core. And it's like you said, definitely you feel it when it comes to like certain squats or certain other kind of exercises that you need to like embrace yourself, that you're like, oh crap, my core is like, it gives out faster than what. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So what, as of right now though, what would be your, let's say, kind of like your workout split there to the audience listening, kind of like how you're going about it?
So I do chest and shoulders on the same day. I do back and core and same thing. That include a core now. So obviously, I realize I need to add that more in there. But I do have an actual core day too. It's gotten so fully understand that I did not do the full steps before. I was lifting so much weights and not so much doing anything involved with just the ab part thing, your structure, your building blocks. I just skipped all that and work on the top of the building and the bottom building. I didn't work in the middle. So more core, obviously quads, hams, calves on the same day. But I hit legs twice a week and I hit chest twice a week. So obviously I like how I look. The pump goes away progressively, and then You look in the mirror, and I know it's probably body dysmorphia, but you look in the mirror, like, my chest is small. But like yesterday, the video I did is, so I progressively do that twice. And legs, obviously, like, to get that pain, you still get the pain, but you do it twice. I feel like I feel more full muscles than doing it once. And then later on, I do it again, and I wonder why I'm laying at night and I'm sleeping, and my leg locks up out of nowhere because it wasn't used to me doing it as consistent as I should be doing.
Gotcha.
So,
That's fair. What would be then, let's say, like, okay, your like, top favorite exercise then? Like, let's say for chest.
top 3 exercise for chest with dumbbell press. I used to do bench press a lot, but there's a lot of videos you see out there nowadays with chest popping out of their spot. Like, I've seen a couple of them. I'm like, let me just like stay at 2 plates, maybe 3 plates passable, 315, but any higher than that, I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to go up, my chest goes this way. Like, that's not the pump, that's the destruction. So I don't want to do that, you know. But as far, I would say dumbbell press, biggest one. Legs, I would say squats. It used to be leg press, because I can leg press 800 pounds, but it's not as impressive as it sounds when you put that. Somebody made this comment on my page one time. I thought he was a hater. I was like, this dude is hate on me. He says, do that on a squat machine. I'm like, it's the same thing. Like leg press, it's the same. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
So squatting, even equivalent at the 315 versus doing leg press, totally different outcome. You got to balance it. Even with a Smith machine, it could be much harder than just doing leg. So I found that squat machines are much more intensified than doing leg press. So I made that more of a favorite. And then obviously with arms, I would say like the basic curls. I need to work on more with that because obviously I do have a ton where I do the little swing. You doing a little break dancing. You just doing this. This is not it. So I'm working that more often because of that reasoning. Calves, I would say I can't explain the machine, but it's like when it's calf raises obviously, but the machine you're kind of putting this bar over you. You're just
okay. I know which one you're referring to.
For some reason, with that machine, I feel it also in my traps. And I get a pump there by default because the weight is pushing you pressing down. So I find myself doing more of a higher raise just to get more of this. I still get calves, but I ain't gonna lie, I do it more for the traps. Like, I love that, like how it feels. I put a lot of pressure there, and I see a difference when I get done. And obviously, that's not the right way to do it because you're doing legs. It's kind of like people say when they're doing legs, I'm gonna do a leg day, and they get on the bench press machine and they are benching instead. Like it's that's my key to it. I still do legs, but I want to feel like I'm doing a body anyways, even though I'm not supposed to be focusing on it. So
I get that.
That makes sense. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, same with me actually. I mean, I've seen that a lot on like the benching. So like lately I've been switching to Smith benching, like Smith inclines. I'm like, oh crap, I would prefer barbell, same thing. And I'm like, damn, you really feel it a lot actually on the Smith, more than on the barbell. You can really like push yourself. Dumbbells for sure. And yeah, 100% with you on squats. For me, I say my weakest link is definitely my calves, even though I hit them pretty consistently and they're toned, but they just don't want to grow. And I'm always slim. So like, if you look at my leg, like this guy does not work out, but I'm like, you see me flex them and they're like toned as heck. You're like, oh my God, I'm like gonna inflate them or something like, because they just don't want to grow.
Yeah, the calf don't grow. That's annoying as hell. But yeah, it's annoying as hell. I get used to this point.
Facts, and I get. Now let me ask you the following. Now going over here into, let's say, some kind of like lifestyle kind of like questions here. So as you mentioned, content creation, your own gym. I know you're actually doing like daily lives on social media. So how do you go about that? Let's say kind of managing it. I wouldn't say balance, right? I'm very like that word balance. I sometimes like think of twice whenever I say it, but let's say, how do you juggle or, work it all out within your time management, like gym, content creation, live streams?
It's not easy. I actually, like I have in my bio, I have my live streams are supposed to be from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And for the last me doing it, even with the outcome is great. The outcome has brought followers and people that like discussing. We sold a shirt on there recently, but the outcome, the portion of starting it and being a part of it, oh my God! Like I haven't gone to bed. The first gone to bed probably this last or 5 lives ago has been like 5 o'clock in the morning upwards to 9 a.m. So in my life, it's supposed to be managed at 10 to 2, and it's always 10 to 7, 10 to 9, and I'm seeing the sun rise up. All right, guys, I'm going to bed now. Like, it's the management is not quite there. And gym does happen, but not as consecutively as it should, because I'm more so more inclined now to make videos to then bring more traffic to the live to then keep the live going. So it's not easy. I'm still working on myself. I wish I could go about it after live time, but it's never hitting that too. It goes over. Like it's yesterday, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. Someone's halfway up. Yeah, it was
No, I love the transparency though, because how many people, or let's say, would be like maybe like kicking themselves bad or like really upset at themselves, like, oh, I haven't been as consistent as I want to. But I think that's the nature of life, of content creation, everything, that you have your ups and downs, right? And I would say what's more important, and this is something that has come up like organically in many of the past podcast episodes that I've done with people. I was like, it's life, it ebbs and flows, it ups and downs. The idea is like you just continue chugging along, right? The idea is not quitting, right? Because you could just be like, oh, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing any lives no more. And like, hey, but you'd never know where that could have led you, even though you weren't as, let's say, exactly how you wanted it to be in the sense of time frame or anything of that sort. So I think that's cool for the audience to be aware of that. Like, hey, that's real life. Who knows how many other content creators, of course, we don't see the behind the scenes that we just see the content they post, but we don't see all the behind the scenes that goes into it. And, there's also has ups and downs, right? And so that's just life,
No, it definitely ups and downs. And my down is still my up, but like I said, the down is I had somebody yesterday, actually spending consecutive 3 days, this dude named on TikTok named Coach Leaf. He commented like consecutive, like, do you sleep? I'm like, not really. I don't know. Not really. I don't know what that is, but I try.
I feel that. No, I feel that. And ultimately I say, like, you're ultimately working on something that is bringing in results, in the sense like, hey, it's bringing some followers, you're building a bigger community, connecting with new people. And I remember I was once hearing from someone, is like, when it comes to a business, or let's say content, social media, etc., that if what works, what grows your business, so why aren't you doing more of it? Sometimes we get distracted by doing something new, something different. But if you already know, like, this action, content creation, creating videos, doing lives, if that's what's building in results, then why would you do anything else but that that's working for you? Like, work on, like, keep doing what's bringing you results and just doing it more often to get better at it, versus doing something completely different and you don't know if it's even going to work. And I feel a lot of us sometimes fall in that trap. You tell me if you ever felt like, hey, it's working, but like, hey, you know what, let me try this. But it's like, hey, this was working well for you. You just probably had to continue doing it, right?
I've done it numerous times where I'm sitting there like, I know this is working, but I want to try this. And I think it's more so also like that feeling of being left out of the trend, or what could be working for others, and then you try to do a trend and it doesn't go anywhere. So like, why I do that? I should have stayed what I was doing. You go back to your own ways, and it prospers. Yeah, it goes back to saying, just stay with what you're doing, what's working. And I mean, you can still, like, I guess, elevate with that perspective, but don't like completely derail yourself into a different trend, different lifestyle, or choices of how you progressively put yourself out there, just because it works for me. And not everything that works for someone else will work for you. So I learned that very hard. Like, I did that for, I think, about a week or so for Facebook, and I finally decided, let me do my own thing, how I was doing before it, and I made $5 versus seeing no views. So I realized, just do your own thing and stop trying to like do the FYP and then do FYP viral, FYP, that whole three combo you see all the time. But when you actually see or organically it's being used, it's used by people who have like over 2 million followers, and we're smaller platforms. So that FYP viral, you need more a broader way of getting looked at, because they're already there. You're not there, so you're just copying what the big leagues, I call them the big wigs are doing. The top of the food chain of these platforms, that won't work for you. They won't.
Yep. No, and I like how you mentioned, especially that fact of like being like doing what's real to yourself. Like your own content, right? Because I feel like you said, something. Yeah, we want to hop on a little meme or a little trend, but it's like, is that really you? Nothing wrong with it, but I would, like you said, not losing your focus on what's your true content, or creating what's valuable to you, what's worth to you. try other things, of course, but never lose fact of who you really are in your own content, right? And I think that's something that I've seen in your videos as well. There's different mixes. You do like a lot of different mixes, but it always feels authentic and organic to who you are as a person, you know? And I think that's something important that people should, when
Be
like,
yourself.
yeah, exactly. And regardless of views or followers, but if you're really yourself, as long as it may take 5 years, a year, 6 months, but at least you know that everything you produce, it's really you. And then you're not putting something out there that's not you, that in the long run, you probably won't be able to keep up because it was never you in the first place, you know?
No, you're faking it till you make it. You know, and the default character falls off the wall. They're like, who's this guy? Who's this girl? Because obviously that wasn't even first. You kept prolonging this act. You know, it's like acting a movie for 20 plus years. You can't do that. You're gonna become that role and be like, who am I? Or you're gonna become not that role at some point and and lose all your audience because you're like, who is this person they're talking to? This is not who I laughed at earlier. This person's depressed, is sad. Like, be who you are, because I guarantee you it works a lot better than faking. Like, someone asked me, like, I always ask what's my average live time. It's usually like 9 to 10 hours. And I didn't have that. I started out with 1 hour, started with 3, started 4, and now it's 9 to 10 because I consecutively keep the conversation going. And they're like, what do you do the whole time? Do you like dance? I did it first. I did it numerous things. You saw that. I sung, I danced, I flex on the camera. I do all these little things. You find your niche, and then kind of find out the whole time, all I had to do is talk and be me. All I had to do was discuss about topics that were relatable, and people would just fill the room by just simply talking, and everybody wants to be part of it. Everybody wants to be acknowledged about something in life, and if you can just get everybody to acknowledge that they like what's being said and they hop in, the reaction, the discussion, everything just grows the audience that way versus having to be the only told person. Everybody's so focused on being the main character in story, but the reality is nobody wants to be watching it. They want to be part of it. They want to be like, I know this guy. They'll say like, I know this girl. Like, oh, have you seen him before? No, he's in Ohio and I'm in fucking Alaska. Like, it's the perspective of feeling like you know that person. Connects into your audience to that deeper level, makes them feel like their party life, which they'll invest more time in you because they think that in their head that I know this guy. Like, I saw him yesterday. But like, oh, where's it at? On my phone. They might make a joke at that point, but still, it's like they feel like I know this person.
Yeah, no, and I love how you mentioned that. Like, it really boils down to like, again, authenticity and building a community versus just putting yourself as the spotlight, but really connecting with others. What would you say then? Like, I know you said it's like just talking about things you're interested in. How would you say ultimately though, for maybe others that want to build their community, that want to maybe also start going live on TikTok and they're not really sure what to do, at least for you, of course, like you said earlier, it doesn't mean it's going to work for them, but at least will work for you. How did you ultimately find, let's say, your niche in the sense of your style of doing lives and that you felt like, okay, you know what? This is real to me. I can actually keep up with this versus everything else that you tried, you know?
It's going to sound dumb, but sometimes really dumb. Like, sometimes really dumb. But talking to myself. I had most ideas in my head by just sitting there and just like, maybe not saying full and quiet, like, right now this part was going and this is going, but I was just sitting here. I'm like, that would be a good idea. And then I'll just do something. And then it might work, it might not. But also sometimes not even just talking to myself works. I'll record a random ass video. I think it's cool. And so I'll end up recording a random video and it's cool, whatever. And then I'm like, I don't want them to do this, but I'll keep it. I'll archive it, put this out, whatever. And then like I'll record another video. I'm like, wait, this can go together. And then I just start going. I'm just looking at it. How can I see it? How can I see it? Like everything's like, it's kind of like seeing like the, I forget, was it Hangover? When all the math symbols come out, all the math. And eventually, like I was like, this can work, that can work. And it's just, I don't know. It's either a mixture between just talking to yourself about what will work because it sounds crazy, but you can kind of find a better way for yourself by talking to yourself. People often will go out to these events or talk to someone else at social media and say, what works for you? No. What works for me? Because if you look at what they can do and you're gonna try to say one with that, it might work for a little bit. Like I said, it might work, but over time, your real side will come out and your whole audience is like, who is this person? So I'll say like, yeah, talk to yourself. Which I'm crazy. Talk to yourself, guys. Go ahead. Like, you're not crazy. Don't worry about it. It's like we're like call you later on, but it's fine, you know. Just don't answer. If you answer the question, you answer it, you're crazy. But no, I do that too. I can't even say that. But I would definitely say like
Same.
that, and I also make sure of just making content, making videos, whatever you think is cool. Because I found videos I did not like at all. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I don't know. And then I'm like, I found a sound later on. I'm like, this sound could work for this. I'm like, oh crap, this goes together, and then it blew up. And I'm like, they only knew. I almost deleted this video. I almost deleted it forever, but I kept it because I knew that I have like videos from Sky High on my phone that I've either converted from YouTube, converted from Instagram or whatever. And I told myself I'd never use them, but one day maybe I'll take a video from like I did one recently a meme video like last year. I downloaded I converted off of Instagram, and then later on, I'm like, damn, this might actually work for this time frame because it was more inclined to what's going on now. But back then it was a joke. But now I've used it for an actual real topic that are relatable. So back then, like we were laughing about it, but now it's like, whoa, that might actually focus some attention on somebody. Wow, this is a good thought. So that's where it comes back to the idea. Like people always say like, oh, that's old. You know, saying swag is old. But I heard somebody say it a little ways back on TikTok on a video, and it got over 1 million views. So the idea of thinking old stuff is getting brought back little by little out of nowhere, and people are thinking it's cool again, and it goes away. And it's cool again. Never try to follow a trend. Also, that's another. Yeah, never try to follow a trend because following a trend is detrimental. Like just follow what you think is cool. Because if we don't follow what you think is cool, it goes back to the main part. Be yourself. Everything just goes back to the main part. It's crazy. Like a trend.
Yep. Facts. No, yeah. And like you said, ultimately, like, same with me. There's so many videos that sometimes I've recorded. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. This is whack. But I'm like, I'll keep it. And then it just so happens a few months later, like, hey, you're working on something else. So you're like, wait, I remember I recorded this. That actually works specifically for this moment. And then people are like, wow, what a cool video. And you, just like you said, you know, I was about to delete this. Like, this was a trash video and I recorded it. Like, what am I doing?
That's what happened the other day with that video I made for with the shirt. I had I was in the side of the video. I'm walking to the camera. I turn around and do this. That literally so the second clip of me flexing without the shirt was old. That was like months ago, and I liked that video, but I kept it for a reason. But this video I made with the shirt, I was like, this is so stupid. You can't see a muscle. You can't. Why am I going to? Then I thought, I said, wait a minute. So I took a video from, like I said, like months ago. I chopped it up to a 20 frame. Now it's like I actually just flexed out, but it's two different videos. I'm like,
that's cool.
This works because I did it in the same room.
Yeah. No, you see, and that's so cool, actually, because when I saw it, I'm like, I literally thought, oh, he recorded himself without the shirt, then with the shirt, and then just like, I'm like, the fact that they're two separate, that's even cooler.
Entirely different videos. And I was sitting like, and then the chopping part was probably the most annoying part because I literally chopped, like, I had to hear the sound and go, okay, all right, beam, bump, boop, all right, boom, bump, bam, beam, bump, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, all right, that's just sound right. And I go back and check, I'm like, that actually fucking worked. I was like, holy shit, it worked.
Yeah,
thanks. I curse a lot. Sorry. I was like, this actually worked. I was like, okay. But yeah, the video I made, the first part of it, I made yesterday. And then the other video I made like months ago that I just happened to keep.
Nice. That's epic. That's so epic. Nice. Now, let me ask you the following, because I know you mentioned a little bit briefly, and I want to bring it here in the podcast. Talk to me a little bit about connections over currency.
Oh, dude. So, it's crazy how you, man, that's crazy. I appreciate that. That's crazy how you did out there on that. That's, dang, man. That's crazy. I didn't want to bring my own stuff into it, but okay.
No, of course.
So it came to my attention when TikTok got banned. I was like, how we were so detrimental about the currency, but me, the money people made, that was the biggest topic. Oh, income, families were surviving this money. This is a big importance. But I was like, that's not even that. I had to. So when I was on live, I was sitting right here. No, I was either sitting right here. No, I was standing right here. I wasn't sitting right here. I was standing right here in front of the TV screen. Had a mirror to my TV, watching the live. And one moment we're laughing, haha, you know. And next moment, my friend was like, "Hey, man, add me on Snap." I was like, "Why?" It was Josh. Remember Josh?
Yeah.
That add me on Snap. I was like, what do you, why? Well, we can do it later, bro. He's like, no, I mean, right now. I'm like, what do you mean? All of a sudden, I got this big block that said TikTok is now banned. I was like, whoa. I said, it's not even thinking, oh, what just happened? And I'm like, everything just flashed. I'm like, I remember messaging everybody that I knew I could prior to the day before, but there was so many other people that I didn't message. The day before when it occurred to me, actually, I got suspended on my inbox. I sent everybody the same message. Hey man, I must not. And this, I must not. Hope you have a good life. Whatever. You know, I'm leaving like everybody with a good note thinking it's the end. And okay, it wasn't the end. But when I thought it was the end, my inbox got suspended after texting 120 people.
That's crazy.
I sent my inbox for everything I had, not just for the sole purpose of currency, but connection. I was like, this is what we're like rust. Everybody, I was like, these people are about to be like disappeared. I was getting on phone number. I thought this was it. I'm like, this is about to be it. So people say, oh, like money's important, but like when it ended, and I'm like thinking about it right now. It sounds like very fake or not non-organic. When I sat there, I was like, I sat in pure darkness. I watched a screen that said block was there, and for a minute when it was up there, me and John were still talking. He walks outside, and now his screen is blurred to an outside patch of grass in the ground. And I'm sitting there, like, I'm seeing myself still on the reflection, like in the corner behind this block. And I was like, really, really sad. I was like, this is, and the sadness didn't come out the money. I made like probably what, $20 back then if I was lucky a week. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was a connection. I just lost my connection. I lost half of them. And I tried to do the whole favorite thing, and I was like, what is this crap? And then, Clapper, yeah. Clapper is clapping out there. I wouldn't do that, but it's like, connection was lost. So I decided like, let me make before I actually saw the end. I made my brain said make a Instagram, make a TikTok that's just connection of currency, and make sure you hold it. Even if you know it's gonna be probably gone, maybe it won't leave. And you have this name before someone else had ideas. But I was like, it's more important. Connection is way more important. People go on these platforms not just for the sole purpose of currency. People post stupid stuff on their page on Facebook and don't even post on Reels. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, money over it. Like, oh, I'm just posting it for my friends. I'm not posting for this person. They're not posting it for the sole purpose of making money. People do, but it's more so to say, hey, look what I did. Look how I'm doing it. So not everybody has that connection in their household. Not everybody does. It's bigger than just simply just, hey, I'm trying to. People say, oh, like Alvin trying to work out on there to show off. It's bigger than just. It's connection, dude. It's connection. But yeah, I made that. I made the podcast for it recently. I'm kind of jumping topics here. Podcast for recently. I made one episode so far about the idea that people are so focused on currency. I haven't made not one yet. None like that because it's time consuming. Trying to go live for 10 hours a day, on top of trying to sleep. Trying to eat the right meal, which my weight has cut back 5 pounds, is people like, oh, that's not a big deal. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Okay, for me. But yeah, connection with currency all the way. I believe that money's still a personal thing, but people often miss the perspective that some people that are rich out here, they didn't do it. They might say, I was independent. It's all me. But at the end of the day, they found connections. Somebody that believed in them. Maybe it wasn't the most orchestrated ways to probably believe in it. Probably had closed door effects, closed door, probably some Illuminati. But we're not going to they do get help by somebody, whether it's from their brain or their behind. Who knows? But
no, fact, no, it's true. And I love the name connections over currency because it's true. I think a lot of us lose focus of like the money in whatever way, shape, or form, job, work, social media, etc. Yes. But it's like, hey, beyond that, like at the end of the day, I would say real success ultimately does come down to also just connecting with people because, you build a team or you have other people around you within a company, within a business or whatever. So it's all about really down connection. You know what they say? It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. You probably heard. So, and I think that connections over currency is a powerful title that can, bring a lot of value to people, just ultimately focus on those connections and everything. What do you plan in the future? Like, what do you plan in the future? Like, are you planning to having like special guests or is it just more like you talking about certain topics or like, where do you see the future of that going?
I mean, now that I discovered this platform you're using, I was like, I might hop on board with this perspective because like that could be a big major part of just trying to find who want to talk about it. But yeah, I had much more intent to just discussing more things. Like I have the second episode we'll also be talking about the idea of like send money through my gifts to help me get the Accessio device that I haven't bought yet because rent more important right now. But um, just the overall connection that I receive from there will be more of a explanation point of discussing more into what I was saying versus just saying it verbatim like, hey, connection of the currency. And now I'm saying examples, more so exemplary type perspectives. But if anything, I might use the platform also to ask questions from people because like it's good to hear the other side, even though I don't believe in currency over connection. But it's good to hear the other side just to hear them out. Not so much try to battle them, but hearing somebody's other point of view can bring like more intelligence towards whether you're super in favor of yours or maybe you're like, okay, they did say something about that chicken being made this way and fried chicken is better than baked chicken, tastes good, but the grease might make me get more. It's like you learn more about the other side and it makes either your point stronger or not weaker, but um more conservative. Not like you're just going over the top like, yeah, I'm right and no one else, because that's not how
Right.
you learn. We learn from other people's perspectives, how you
Correct.
see it.
Yep, yep. I remember hearing from someone, it's like, hey, don't be so entitled to think only your opinion is right, because that's very egotistical in a sense.
Yeah, that
Like
is
it's
egotistical.
it's good to know what other people think, and it's not to prove I'm right, you're wrong. It's like, okay, let me just hear your perspective. Okay, I think this, you think that. We can agree to disagree, but doesn't mean now we're never gonna be friends or we're just not gonna get along because we disagree on a specific
Exactly.
topic. And we see that a lot nowadays in almost any topic, right? Of course, some are way stronger than others, right? But in almost any topic, it's like, oh no, you're wrong, and like,
And
okay,
where does it
it's
go?
like,
Where does it
right,
actually
yeah,
go?
like, it's like, okay, like, we're not supposed. I'm not here to prove anything right or wrong. It's just like this
We're
is what
discussing.
I'm just. Yeah, exactly. We're discussing 100%. So, anyways, now just to mention here, if anyone wants to follow your podcast, where could they find you? Connections Over Currency. I'm assuming that's all together. What platforms are you on?
All together, it's on YouTube. I made a page on Instagram, but it's not really like nothing on it at all. But
Yet,
it's mostly
yet,
on YouTube. Yeah, it's
nothing
right
on it
now.
yet.
Yeah. All right. Here's the yet. Forgot the word yet. But right now
Exactly.
it's on YouTube. But it is, like I said, a preview on TikTok about it. But it's on YouTube. It's gonna be on YouTube for a while until I figure out what I'm gonna do next. But I did want to. It sounds stupid, but I wanted to make like a. This is like I said. This is all when the ban happened. I'm gonna see like I can get an HTML coding from maybe another a back platform to maybe uh I know they have some ways. Like I used to have a website back in the day that had video games, whatever, right? For like Flash games,
Oh,
and by
yeah.
just simply using the HTML code, you could put any file on there, like any SWF file game on there to like present the game, and it runs pretty well, whatever. So I was like, there's got to be like a video chat platform that offers that same perspective of putting it on there on the site, so I can then chat with people on there. So that's like a really back end like way. Maybe I don't know how I'm gonna do this type perspective. That's why I don't talk about that much anymore. But that was the other part to having a platform where people can talk to me or whoever and connect. Because obviously, like it goes deeper than just that. I don't want to go too deep where it gets dark, but people often, even myself, at some point, I used to go on the website for um, I don't think it's called suicide watch. It's something discussing like help. You go in there, talk to somebody, and you see the chat will always like 30 minutes a long line or whatever, some hour long line. And when you finally get there, you're either chatting to some probably some bot at the time, probably AI not at this point. There's nobody behind the computer, or you have to pay a certain price, like BetterHelp, certain price. So connection can go just further than just simply, a social media platform. They go outside for everything. And then connection over currency specifies the visual of like, I'm not trying to get your money. I want to know I helped you. Because in the end, if you help somebody else, they'll help you.
Yep.
I've had it before. I've given well over $20, $30. Doesn't take a whole lot, but on in gifts, it looks huge. You see all these random freaking things, the them or a balloon animal just squats over to the backflip on the screen. You know, like that makes somebody feel good. So they come back and they do tenfold. Like they do a lot more. So it's like that's where also was coming to. But again, I haven't found anything like it. And also now that it's back now, I'm not so super inclined to do it. So the band brought open a different horizon to this for this happening. But when it came back, door just swing closed again. It was just probably not the best thing to say right now, but that's true. I mean, I was so head over heels to figure out, but as soon as this came back, I was like, oh, okay, I'm good now.
Nice. No, but no, I love that. Like, keep it up with the podcast though, because I think it could go definitely a long way. You know, just providing value. Another way to provide value to people, right? Like we've been talking about it, and being authentic. Yeah. Now, a few other questions here. Before getting into some like little, let's say like quick fire round question, just so the audience doesn't think this was anything. Like, talk to me like with the shirt and everything. I know this wasn't anything sponsored, by the way, guys.
I changed. So I initially had this shirt on. I couldn't really see the wording. So I got this
not
shirt
sponsored, guys.
When I was a trainer, it was called Self-Made Academy or something like that. And so it says self-made family. You can't really see it from the cursor. But when I stood in front of the camera, I was like, I don't want to portray something different off. Now, granted, it was a polo or, you know, Nautica or something I could put on. Yeah. But I was like, how exactly can I help the most in this podcast? So I was like, I said, well, I want to put my son that I already purchased to help him with, you know, and also it felt weird. I'm saying with a dark black shirt and you're with the gray. I'm like, I feel like an outcast. I'm not gonna put like a damn clown nose in my face and some flirty hair and say welcome to the team. You know, it's more so to help and more so inclined to make the podcast look more I guess clean. Versus presenting an old past situation where I wasn't too fond about the past. I mean, it's cool, but it's an expensive mistake. And I like the shirt, looks cool. But again, like if the shirt is inclined to help someone of which that is not in the interest anymore, have no part of my life, why do it? Why bring back, you know,
it's in the past, right?
Huh? Yeah. I have a shirt that I have called Spy Athletics. I worked there for a minute as a facility manager, and I wore it for a good few weeks still, even after I was like, this place really burnt me in the ass that wouldn't match like entirely, but I still wore it because it just felt good wearing it. But I had to think to myself, I'm helping them a lot more right now wearing this around. I would go to Kroger, I would go to Walmart, I would be at the park, and I'm helping someone which didn't give a damn about me. So goes back to say, like, why want I wear a shirt that actually helps? Yeah, I could have worn Nautica, Polo, but I'm just gonna be another average Joe trying to flaunt a brand of which that has nothing backing behind it other than a sailboat and a couple of crocodiles. So that's why I'm saying clothes.
To give a little backstory to the audience that might be listening or watching this, yeah, Alvin, he recently decided to buy one of our oversized shirts, godgymgrind, and you know, he's loved it a lot, and he's been like, you know, in his own lives and so forth, kind of like been promoting the shirt, you know, as like a small business. So really grateful for Alvin. And also in one of his lives, one of his viewers actually, like, he had it pinned on his live, and one of his viewers actually bought one of the tank tops. I was in the live too, because I joined I do my best to also participate in Alvin's live whenever I have the time. And so we were there, just like he was saying, we were just chatting it up, talking to different people, just catching a good vibe. And then all of a sudden, I got a notification, an order came in, and I'm like, what? And then he got a notification, like, oh, someone just bought from your link or something. I don't know how TikTok notifies you. We're both like, what the heck? Idea. We were both in shock, like, yo, we got a sale. You know, it was actually super cool, you know, and it goes to what we've mentioned even before, like building community and connecting with others. Because ultimately, had I not connected with Alvin, had we not connected through live and just engage versus just doom scrolling, none of this would have actually ever happened. So I think that's a little positive note to everyone watching this, aside from, let's say, Alvin's obstacles, let's say kind of like dark time when younger, but he was able to overcome that through the gym and, like, you know, make better life choices, life decisions, to the point where he's now doing social media, doing live streams and so forth. I think another value aspect you can extract from this is that, hey, no matter what life throws at you, as we say here, God, Gym, grind, that grind part, whatever life throws at you, grind it out and overcome it. I do truly believe Alvin is a perfect testament of that God Gym Grind lifestyle, that was in a dark space. He realized he needed something to do different in his lifestyle. He kept grinding to the point where he was able to overcome that dark point to where he is now. We made the connection. And at the same time, I think it shows the power of social media, at least at this point now, like right now that we're recording, like the power of social media when it's used correctly, of making connections, meeting people, building a community. I know I keep saying that, but it's just the real beauty, the beauty of it, you know, that ultimately we were able to connect. I myself have met some amazing people through social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads. We're all just here supporting each other. None of us have ever met. And it's like super cool where you don't, you know, sometimes you're the people closest around you for whatever reason, like, hey, good job. And they're just like, good job. And, like, and then, you know, so it's crazy out there, but it is what it is. And we just keep trending it along. We keep grinding it out ultimately. But last but not least, ultimately, I just want to ask you a little crazy question. If you could train with any fitness influencer or celebrity for a day, who would it be and why?
That's hard. There's a couple I'd say in my head that for the sole purpose of him being funny. So fitness influencer, somebody that like has a high following.
Any fitness influencer, whoever fitness influencer. So doesn't have to be super famous.
No. So his name is 50% Natty. It's a guy that, you know, no, maybe not.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I follow him. No, I need to check him out.
He's always making jokes about it's he just funny as hell. He takes on the idea of people always pretending to be like natural. They're full on every possible trend, but they're like, I'm natural in their bio, and they're like, you can see the acne on their face and on their butt cheeks, but they pretend. But y'all making jokes about it, and it's so funny to me. But obviously, I would just laugh the entire time. I feel like it'd be a joy. I could say like somebody like as far as like growing wise, I would say like actually making a product. He's making a product too, but it'd be more so for joke. I wouldn't do it for the whole like. I mean, like, I do this bicep. No, I just want to hear. I'll probably be dying. He's funny as hell. But the main person I'd probably go towards, and it's obviously the most common person to train with, would be Sam Tullock. Like, I would definitely say Sam Tullock, because for the purpose of like his attributes, what he does, it's solely can tell. I can tell that I would learn a lot from him, even though he's younger than me. But he
pushes hard
in the game much longer. Yeah, so I would definitely say I would train with him for sure.
Definitely nice. I'm glad. I was thinking,
or Kevin Levrone, but that's kind of like I don't know. That'd probably be more of like a fan type bait, not so much how to do this. I'd be like, this dude's like, he's right here, and he's Kevin Levrone standing right next to me. That'd be crazy.
All right,
but whatever. Sorry.
No, that's cool. No, I love it. I mean, yeah, if it was for me, I was thinking either like let's say Sam Sulek or maybe Jeff Nippard, just because it was like also Jeff Nippard. Or maybe at the extreme, if you want to go super extreme, I mean, Seabum, right? You can't go wrong with Seabum.
Nah, Seabum is cool. I respect Seabum too for his hustle, but because it's so commonly like known, I just be another fan, another person. Oh my god! So it's kind of like you wait for someone's fame to die down. It sounds horrible, but die down a little bit. So now you're not so much of a fanboy. You're somebody that wants to actually learn. You know, it's kind of like
fair.
With Ronnie Coleman. I definitely try to talk them too. Because of the fact that it's not because his fame is dying, he's more of an icon right now because of what he did, how it took the body to an extreme limit to the point where he can't walk for nothing right now. He's on stilts.
Yeah, and many know Seabum, but many probably wouldn't recognize or know Ronnie Coleman. That's fair, right? Because I've spoken to a few people like that are into like a little bit into fitness. Like, oh yeah, Seabum. I'm like, oh, you know Ronnie Coleman? I'm like, who's that? I'm like, well, okay, well there you go.
Old school. He's the old school bodybuilder, and then looking for a new school, which is it's pretty. Style that works. People don't know that where the greats came from. They're like, oh, the greats are getting forgotten about. Someone like Nasser that passed away like years ago. He was like a really iconic guy, but just didn't give a deal about emotion. You know what Nasser is?
Nasser, that one sounds familiar.
He's a big bodybuilder with like glasses. He passed away.
Oh, okay, yes. I saw him through social media. Yeah.
He'd be interviewed like, so what you got to tell about him? He's like nothing. He was just so. Blank face. It was cool, but again, didn't care.
No, but no, I love it. Definitely, no, for sure. I mean, that's how you got to be locked in. You know what I mean? It's like the Tom Platz. like his crazy workouts.
Tom Platz is definitely iconic too, but it's just I don't know, he still has a huge following base. I don't want to be like that guy. Hey, can I get your autograph? But then again, I've seen a video where he has a PO box and everything for his fans.
Oh, wow.
And he's
There you
like
go.
thanking everybody. Like he's like, thank you so much for having me around, for still supporting me. Because obviously, some bodybuilders get washed up. They get forgot about. They're walking around in our face and we're like, who's that guy? I have no idea.
Yeah. That's
No
fair.
idea.
But awesome. No, with that, I mean, I love it. I just want to one final thing, Alvin. If you could leave with the audience, I always like asking everyone this question with one final, let's say, piece of advice, piece of life advice, social media advice, life, anything. One thing that you could leave the audience with, what would that be?
Do your research. Do your research. A problem that I have with most people, they'll ask me what to do. I tell them what they need to do. But I also say look it up, because I learned that from my mom. Like, she always made me look up things. Every time I asked her a question, me and chill. Well, I'm like, what is, I say, what's water made of? Some I'm just making a joke and making a fake example, but like, she's like, look it up. I'm like, damn, why? Like, why can't you just tell me what it is? But the main thing is, if you look up yourself, you'll find the reasoning, the understanding, and everything to back it up, versus going to, I don't know, this person over here, and they tell you, hey man, creatine will make you fly. And you're like, okay, you just think it's gonna make you fly, but really it doesn't make you fly. It might help you like gain muscle to then possibly jump higher, but it's not gonna make you fly. So I always say, like, yeah, do your research. Look it up where you just like, you take whatever has people say it's base value. You learn what it actually does and why they do it, versus like just take my word. Even my word or your word or anybody's word. Look it up. The worst case scenario is you find out that, oh, he was right, but at least you're not over here just spreading, like everybody's spreading all this bad, like, oh, do this workout, it'll get you a neck size of Tom Platz, whatever. You know what? Some crazy, but it's really just a hula hoop sitting on your neck. Like it's all these thick influences that'll tell you what to do. Do the research.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And with that, guys, that would conclude episode 8 of the G3X podcast with Alvin. It was a super awesome one. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much, Alvin, for being a guest. It was super, super awesome. If people wanted to find you on social media, where could they find you? Where you at? I know we talked about it, connections and currency, but now if they wanted to find you specifically, where could they find you? What platforms you on?
I'm on TikTok under Soul Chipmunk. I'm on the YouTube as Soul Chipmunk. I'm on Twitch as Soul Chipmunk. I don't use favorite anymore, but as Soul Chipmunk. But the main ones I say is Instagram is Soul Chipmunk. I say that because it's 2 Ks instead of 1. 1 K was taken, so I put an extra K. But like, it's Soul Chipmunk everything pretty much. I made sure all were kind of verbatim. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I'll make sure, guys, that's in the description there. If you're watching this on YouTube, or even if the description there on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can see the description there if you guys want to go follow Alvin. But again, thank you guys so much for listening to it. Until the next time, and we are out of here. Peace out.